Pretty good.
Good. Well, my name is Matia, and I'm with AJ3 Report.
How you
And
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I can't complain. So I just want to thank you for taking the time to sit down with us for a few minutes to talk about a few things.
Oh yeah,
So,
no problem.
so for those of our viewers who may be unaware, I just want to give you a proper introduction. Mr. Bryant McKinnie is a University of Miami alum, a two-time All-American there, NFL All-Pro, Super Bowl champ. So you have quite the resume when it comes to football.
Thank you.
And the side of you that a lot of people may not be familiar with is the entrepreneurial side. So could you
Mm.
give our listeners and viewers a little bit of information about your company and what all it entails?
Okay, so I have two companies pretty much in the foundation. Um, Also, I have a music label, but I'm not as active in it right now. So probably
Okay.
what you don't know is 2009 started a music label, um, and I put out a project 2009. Got nominated for 3 Grammys. The
Wow.
artist named Pleasure Peace. So it's called The Introduction to Marcus Cooper. So the songs like Did You Wrong, Boyfriend Number Two, Under, and all those things. I'm the co-executive producer. So I did the
Wow.
funding with Atlantic Records. So myself and Craig Kalman were the co-executive producers, and we funded that project. And that was my first
Wow.
into
Way to
music.
hit it straight out the gate.
Yeah, I always had like a music background and a passion for it.
Okay.
And being an athlete in the music, and especially during that space,
Mhm.
a lot of people didn't take you serious. They felt
Mhm.
like you play sports and like if that's like your only gift, but that wasn't my only
Right.
gift. And you've had people who probably were before me who maybe weren't making the best investments or decisions in as far as talent.
Mhm.
And I always felt like I had a good ear for talent, so I continued to go ahead and pursue the music part and get that project put out. And what's funny
Wow.
is it got nominated for 3 Grammys, and back then the Grammys were in the were being held like at that time back in like end of January.
Mhm.
And I couldn't attend because I was in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, that's but just even to have the honor though, man.
Right.
Wow. So tell us some more about the other businesses and your organization that you have.
Right. So, and then I have another company. It's called Repent, which basically is an hangover technology-based hangover cure. You really can use it for extreme workouts as well. If you have a tough workout and you lose a lot of electrolytes,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically because it replenishes electrolytes, potassium,
Okay.
vitamins, B12, and all type of things. So a lot of things you lose from a strenuous workout or
Mm-hmm.
from drinking.
Yeah.
It replenishes it, but it also has nanotechnology, so it has a science behind it, where it's
Right.
actually able to penetrate your cells and actually work in 20 minutes,
Wow.
and make you feel better. So, and it's only 2.5 ounces, so it's not a big, a lot of people drink Pedialyte and things like that, or
Right.
maybe even Gatorade, but you have to drink a large amount of those things because
Mm-hmm.
they don't have because out of those large amounts, about somewhere between 20 to 30%, your body will actually retain, and the
Oh,
rest
wow.
will go out as waste. But by us having by us having nanotechnology, your
Mhm.
body's able to absorb way more, and it's fueling your body. So that's why it's a smaller amount and actually works. So trying to get that out there and let people know it legit works is my main thing. And then I have another company called Let's Chat.
Mhm.
Let's Chat is a language translator. So we put a little plug-in into your like a website,
Okay.
and translate your website based on the person's device language. So you get your phone, you have to set it to your device. So
Right.
not IP address, because for IP address for Miami, for instance, would be English, even though there is, I think, 303 different languages spoken here. So it doesn't do you
Wow.
any good. So same thing. It's based out. My partners are from LA, so same thing in LA. There's like 283 different languages spoken out there, but the IP address would be English. So it's based on your device language. So what you set your device for is how it'll automatically come up in real time. And we
Okay.
also have a texting form where you can, I just actually posted it today on my Instagram. You can text and you'll get like almost like a Google voice number.
Okay.
And you'll use that number now to text people of different languages, and you'll text in English and it'll come through however their phone is set up, or
Wow.
the device language, and it'll come through in real time. So that kind of helps break this language barrier as well. And I want to eventually get it here, like especially for Ubers and stuff like that, because a lot of
Oh yeah.
Spanish-speaking people here for Uber can't try to communicate. And then we've had, you know, about 2 or 3 meetings with the NFL, and they want to come on board and become a client. Things slowed
Wow.
down a little bit because of the pandemic, and
Right.
with that and the draft, you know, they're trying to catch up on some things,
Right.
but the way their things will be set up for them now is like before each team used to own their own website, but now all the websites that go through NFL / Minnesota Vikings / so it'll all go through
Gotcha.
NFL, which saves me way more time because
Right.
now we
We're
have
having to
direct
do that
meetings
for
with the
all
NFL
those
instead of having
different
to get
sites.
to each individual team. So
Yeah.
that's good. So looking forward
Wow.
for that happening. And then my foundation, it's called Be Major Foundation,
Okay.
and it's basically about healthy kids, healthy living, like keeping kids active. Single parent homes. I've come from one, so I try to do things. I know how hard it was on my mom
Yeah.
to raise me, who was growing
Right.
a mile a minute. Like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
each year, you know, my shoe size went with my age all the way to I was 18. So I never could have the same clothes the following year, the following summer.
Right.
So it's always new clothes, new things. So that's can get expensive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I, you know, definitely have always thought about that. So single parent, single homes, and I also added within about a year and a half is mental health awareness, and I added that because players that I you know, were teammates with and things like that, you know, post NFL and some during
Yeah.
show you a lot of signs of mental health, you know, illness,
Right.
and I had to help 2 players. You know, myself, because their family like will call on me to kind of help with the situations, and those players only want to talk to somebody who they feel like played and can relate to them. So they're
Exactly.
feeling like their
Yeah.
family can't relate. So it's like
Right.
they don't even talk to them. So it's like it became me at times. And I actually went to a psych ward one time because one got Baker Act and had
Wow.
to like actually be there. And then communicating back and forth with the league and trying to, you know, resolve like ways to get these families help and things like that,
Right.
because like, well, who do you call, who can help, you
Right.
know, these situations become better, because as you don't have a bunch of people like me that's around here that's willing to help, but
Right.
it's a lot of situations where it's unfortunate, and sometimes when it comes to mental health, people just like, oh, they're crazy. No, they just need treatment.
Exactly. Exactly. That's so interesting because, you know, with NFL players that we've seen in the media, oftentimes we see things that have happened post NFL, and like you said, a lot
Mm-hmm.
of things were going on even before then. And so I think that's awesome work that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, you know, oftentimes I'm sure, you know, it's more difficult for men than women, you know, to
To
want to
admit.
reach out and seek that help,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I mean, wow, that's phenomenal. So, man, philanthropist,
Feel like a
techpreneur
life
sounds
coach.
like.
Look, I feel like a life coach at times.
Wow. Wow. So, well, I want to go back to talking about your Repent brand first.
Mhm.
So, basically, what led you to go into that business?
Um, I used to go and hang out a lot, right?
Mhm.
So people be like, "How do you get up the next day?" And
Right.
I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I know when it's time for me. Like, if I have to do something
Mhm.
in my mind already, I know like I have to handle business. Like, I want to have fun, but business is always first.
Absolutely.
And I'm still going to get up, even if I want to have a little fun. It's like you're just going to have to suffer tomorrow. Like, you know
Right.
what tomorrow brings, but
Right.
um. So I got in that space, and then it was a guy who had a company where he could make it. So he was
Mhm.
like, I look at you sometimes, I'm like, how did he get up? I just seen him out here, and he got up. And I'm like, I'll be struggling. And he was like, we need to come up with like a hangover cure so you can just kind of keep it going. It fits your personality. And I was like, you ain't lying. So we tried some, and like we were like kept doing it till the taste was good until we, you know, I'll try something to see it like till it actually worked too.
Right.
And it did. Probably like the second batch that they made, and the taste and things had gotten better, and then it actually worked. And like we had took a trip to Vegas, me and a group of friends, and I
Oh.
took some with me. Right. I took
Great
some
place
with
to
me.
test it out.
Right. And I had them try it as well, like just to get their feedback. And everybody was like, oh my God, this really works. So I thought
Wow.
it was gonna work. Even though I tried it on myself first, I figured it
Right.
would work on me. I'm 6'8". It's gonna work on
Right.
me.
Right.
So it worked, and everybody was like low key amazed. And like a lot of my friends have been big supporters because they go, it's on Amazon or it's on their website, drinkrepent.com.
Okay.
So a lot of them, when they know they are going on vacation and things like that, they grab something. Like they'll post it and tag me and tag my company just so I can see that they got it. So I like that. But it made sense to the type of person I was, because you'll see me doing things, whether it's in the community, you'll see me having fun, you'll see me also hang out too. So I also have to be back up early and kind of alert. So that's when Repent came into play, and it was like, that's how, you know what I mean? And then people were kind of like, oh, okay, because people always wondered how, even though Repent wasn't always how, but Repent has definitely helped me out and saved a bunch of my friends too. So
wow. So I see, because I went to the website to check it out. So I see you just have the drink right now. Do you have any aspirations to add any more products, to the line?
I don't know. I'm just really trying to get the drinks to get more people like to trust the drink and just try it.
Okay.
And then after, I know we have like T-shirts and stuff like that. Like people wear like little tank tops and stuff like that just for advertisement. But right now it's the drinks. And you drink it at the, when you're done the next day or that night when you finish. But as of right now, I don't know. Like, if you give me some ideas, maybe I can add some other things to it.
Okay.
But
okay. That's awesome though. So, you clearly have an awesome work ethic. I mean, you're a businessman, you have multiple businesses. What are the things that you consider before you even think about going into a particular business?
My main thing is, am I inspired? Do I like it? Like, I'm somebody when it comes to business that I like to be hands-on, because I like to be involved. So it has to be something, sometimes people want you to be involved in a business either just because they need the capital or they just want to use your name. And it's like, but if I don't really care for this, it's not going to make sense, because I'm not going to really be too in tune. I'm not going to be involved. So I always want to do business with things that I actually like, because one, it doesn't really feel like work because I enjoy doing it. And it just makes it that much better because it's a project that you get to work on and it's something I enjoy doing. Okay. So some people are trying to force you into areas like, I'm not a real estate person. You know what I mean? Like, oh, but you should do this. But that's not for me, and that's okay. But I have friends that it's for. So I'll link you with them, but don't try to force me to do something that you want to do. Exactly. You know what I mean? Right. That's what you want to do. That's not what I want to do. Don't try to make me do it.
So,
I'm good at telling people that.
So that's awesome. So, actually, as I'm sitting here talking to you and just realizing how business savvy you are, you kind of put me in the mind of Edgerrin James. Like, I know he's a consummate businessman as well.
He is like my, he took, like, all right, so when we went to the same college. Right. University of Miami. So he, 1 year, I wouldn't even expect this. We were randomly hanging out. He was like, oh, come hang with me for the day. And I was like, all right. We ended up at the bookstore. What? Not thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes you kind of just feel like, okay, y'all want to probably hang out, go to the beach, whatever. But I'm going to take some time to educate you today. So it was like, get this book, watch less TV, things like that. So he was the first person who like kind of put some things into my mindset. Like, awesome. Oh, I wasn't expecting this, but I'm listening. Right. And then he's also another person. I'm not as advanced as him, but this is a start for me. But he's also another person, because we're still friends. So he's also somebody who probably a couple of years ago was telling me, like, you got to have a calendar and plan stuff out. I bought a calendar, but I fill my calendar out about a month. He fills his calendar out for the whole year. Wow. I can't go that far. Like, not many of us can. He's like, certain things don't change. The weekends always gonna be the weekends. The holidays always gonna be holidays. Birthdays, birthdays. You can plan your year. Hey, I started out with like weekly at first. Then it's like, okay, the month. Nice. But even that just helped me be more organized. Like even having like this meeting, I do every Sunday. I write my schedule down because my schedule can change, and I can add things, so I can write in there like this time. Every morning I look at it to kind of give me an idea of what I have to do that day.
Right.
And also it saves me from double booking myself on things too. Because before I would tell people, yeah, I'll do it. And it'd be like 2 different things at one time. It's like, whoa.
Right.
And so it keeps me more organized. So actually shout out to Edrin James, because he is that person who put that in my mind to even learn to become, organized in that direction.
Yeah, I had the opportunity.
He's strategic.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to meet him once, and I was so very, very impressed with just the depths of his intelligence. And I follow him on social media, and there are times where I can DM him and ask a question, or just respond to something, and he's so accessible. He's a very awesome guy. So I was going to ask you if you had. What's that?
He always says, create the life you want to live.
Exactly. And I love that creed. And it's true. If you put the work in, you put the time in, you really can create the life you want to live. It's not going to necessarily be easy, but if you work for it, it'll be worth it, So, yeah, definitely shout outs to him. I was going to ask you if there was somebody who was like a mentor to you with regard to,
He was, but see, he also looks at me in certain aspects too, as he feels like I'm great at knowing how to market and do things because of my relationships. So when it comes to ideas, even he's open clubs here, he'll come to me and say, what do you think about this? Should I do this? Does he always listen? No. Does he have to go back and do what I end up saying? Probably, yeah. But that's why you respect me to a certain level when I say, and you can't in the beginning, that's my opinion, I've been telling you, and then you had to come back and do it anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so he could put the whole business together, but now I can tell you what you need to do to create an experience. And that's what I always kind of tell people from a business standpoint, whatever it is, when you're trying to get customers, whatever, you want to create an experience and make them want to come back. So I'm kind of normally good at that.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's normally just about you putting yourself into the customer's shoes and
absolutely
figuring out what it is you want and how you want to be treated and things like that. And also convenience too. So a lot of times, a lot of people pay for convenience. So if there's something that's going to make it more convenient, do it.
Right. That's a simple thought, but it goes such a long ways if you're able to really do it. Yeah. So, in terms of, so like I said, you have a heck of a work ethic, clearly. And
listen,
I want to.
I'm thinking about I'm thinking about starting a concierge here as well, because it's something I do naturally, but it's right now I'm doing it for free. So it's how about I put a, those situations together to where I can be paid for it, because it's something I do naturally, and just by me having a lot of friends in general, and they come down and they automatically hit me up and they're asking where to go. And I have relationships with restaurants, I have relationships with clubs, I have relationships with car rentals, car services, yacht people, all these different things that you want when you come to Miami. So why not?
And that's a heck of a place to be for a concierge service. I mean, you're simply the plug. You know everybody with everything. So that's an awesome thing to be. But I want to kind of go back to your football days. To have the kind of career that you had, that doesn't happen happenstance. You have to put in time. You have to be dedicated. What was it that motivated you to say, you know what, I'm good at this. I'm going for this. I'm going to work hard for this. What was it?
What's funny is a lot of people don't even realize it, but they do, because I kind of tell the story sometimes. My grandma played a big part in it. From me growing up in Jersey, and I came from a small high school, there weren't a lot of people going pro, so that wasn't something that was familiar to me in my community. A lot of people weren't going to big colleges either. So I grew up, my mom had me wrestling. I grew up as the only child, so my mom had me wrestling first for discipline, and then she had eventually moved me over to basketball around 4th or 5th grade. To learn to work with others as a team. So everything that I did there was a goal behind it, a reason behind it. So by the time I got to high school, I went to try football. I had never played football. So I never played football because I was always too tall for my age, but I was too young. So it was okay, I'm 9. I'm 9, but the people that I'm supposed to be playing with is probably 12, and that's a big difference. So they couldn't let me play. So once you got to 9th grade, it didn't matter. because
Right.
you were in high school. So I had to wait. So when I went out, my grandma was like, "You should stick with basketball." So she was trying to convince me to stick with basketball. I was like, "Well, I'll play basketball too." But
Right.
she like, "Cause you're gonna quit. You're not gonna like football. Stick with basketball." I'm like, "Who says that?"
Right.
Well, okay. So anytime I had those urges of like, man, I don't know if I want to do this, I just hear like, "You gonna quit?" And that's gonna make her be right. So it was like, no, make her be wrong. So every step of the way, when I got the scholarships, go to college, become All-Americans, I would remind her. Remember you said I was gonna quit? Like I would remind her. We won the national championship. She was there.
Oh,
Remember you
awesome.
said? And then I went to get drafted. I was the first round 7th pick overall, so I got invited to New York. So I was in New York, and of course she's there as well. I'm like, Grandma, and remember, and then all the way down into the Super Bowl. When I won the Super Bowl in my 11th season, she's the first person out of my family that somehow, when they allowed them to run on the field, when the confetti dropped, somehow she found me first and got to me first. And I seen her, and I like laughed and everything. I had to say it one more time, like, Grandma, remember when you said? And she's like, I know, I'm proud of you. So I reminded her every step, because you know why? She reminded me every step of the way, like, don't quit, because I don't want that voice to be right, or that you're not gonna like it. So people take things and use it as motivation, and some don't. Another person could have took what she said and then been in that space where they was like, well, I don't know if I could do this, and she said she gonna quit. You're like, you right, and quit.
Right.
I didn't want her to be right, and I took it as motivation, so it kept pushing me further and further and further. You know what I'm saying? And I kept reminding her, because what she didn't know is it was actually my motivation that kept pushing me, because I never wanted to make her right, regardless of what level I was on or how far. It was never complete until I completed everything, basically, you could say, in the football. Because I became an all-pro player as well, so there was nothing left for me to do.
Right. You seem like a person who not arrogant at all, but you have a lot of confidence, and yes, that is something that can be put in you, but it just seems with you, it just seems natural. You seem, as you speak, you seem very sure of what it is you're saying, and your resolve.
Yeah, I think when you believe in yourself, and then if you believe in the things you actually want to accomplish, you have to truly believe that within. Like, I believe that I can be successful at something. I can't be, well, maybe or maybe not. It's like, I really believe this. Like, I'm going to attempt to do something with the best intent to get it done and to complete it. Like, I can't, like I always tell people, like, some people are scared to try things because they're scared to fail.
That's it.
But my thing is, I have faith. So you can't have fear and faith. They can't coexist. You got to pick one. You either got faith or you got fear.
That's a word.
And fear is a man-learned trait. You know what I'm saying? If you look at babies, they're not born to fear anything. They have to be taught what to fear, and that's man-learned.
That's right.
So I can't be scared of failing. Like, I look at it as, okay, the next time I do it, then I'm gonna get it right. Because you got to look at it.
That's one way.
When I first went out to football, I ain't never played before, so it was a lot of times where I failed, but I took notes, and I made it a lesson to get better and know, okay, this is what I need to do the next time. So being confident and kind of knowing and having that attitude, like, okay, that didn't work that way, but okay, now I know the next time I can go this route.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And just be kind of positive about it. Like, a lot of people talk themselves out of doing things. You need to start talking yourself sometimes to end up doing some stuff.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's kind of how I look at things. I can't come off and sell anything to you being unsure.
That's it. That's an awesome word. Very, very, very awesome word. So, actually, as I was on your Instagram, I'm going to read directly from it. So you had a quote that you posted, and it said the 3 C's in life: choice, chance, and change. You must make the choice to take the chance if you want anything in your life to change. So what do you think if you can pinpoint it to a single one, but what was the single most important choice that you made that you would attribute as being the most pivotal thing in your life?
I made a lot of different choices eventually. Um,
Even if there's more than one, what are some choices that you
okay,
know?
I made some choices to be more accountable.
Okay.
At times, you could ask me to do something in my younger years, probably 10 years ago, and I was like, yeah, and then just won't be accountable, and all of a sudden forget. But that comes into play with me taking down notes and me, like I
Right.
said earlier, double booking, things like this. So those things later on come into play of you got to be a little more responsible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So having a calendar and stuff like that, it goes back to, what EJ kind of taught me. That helped me out a lot because now I feel like I'm not being accountable.
Right.
So
Right.
I decided to make the choice to take those steps and find a way or listen to advice that's being given to me to make myself become even more accountable. So now I'm not double booking myself for stuff and not showing up here, but then here, like, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that was definitely one situation. There's been a few things just in life because you grow up,
Yeah.
and sometimes even when I say you grow up, it's just you just didn't have that experience. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just don't know.
Right.
That I've had to make adjustments to, make situations easier.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think through my life I've done that a few times.
Okay. So let me ask you, if there was advice you could give to an up and coming football player, as you know, not every high school player is going to make it to college. Not every collegiate player is going to make it to the pros. What is something that you think it's important for, players to have an awareness of?
Um, well, they should have a work ethic, some type of work ethic. And if it's their passion, as one thing somebody always told me, if something is your passion, it will never feel like work. So if it feels like work, maybe that's just not really meant for you.
Good.
So if this is something that you don't look at as work and it's your passion, then
Right.
it's something you would always look better. You would always try to find ways to get better at your passion,
Mhm.
to sharpen that iron. So you
Right.
aren't always just like finding like, when is this over? Stuff like that. Like, this is your
Right.
passion. You want to be the best. So
Right.
you have to look at some other people, and that's what I did in college. See, when you get to the NFL, they don't really have any like stats for offensive linemen.
Mhm.
In college, they kind of count little things like pancakes, and they count like if you give up any sacks, things like that.
Okay.
So it gives you a little something to like kind of measure,
Gotcha.
what you're
Mhm.
doing. But in the NFL, they don't. They probably should,
Right. I think so.
but they really don't. It's like you're just there.
Right.
You don't have any
But
stats.
you play a huge
You
role.
play a big
Nothing
role,
happens for
but
that
it's like,
quarterback without you.
right, but you just don't really have any stats. So when it comes time to voting for Pro Bowl and stuff like that, it's
Mhm.
like they give you a paper and you can see everybody's stats. You kind of can look at the stats and say, okay, I can vote for him. And then offensive line is like, well, how did such do? Like, you really just asking, who had a good year this year? It's like kind of you just throwing out names or somebody
Right.
maybe that's popular. So you just let them keep making it. It's really that. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I would just say, if your heart is into it, just really like put in the most work and the best time you can and learn and continue to keep learning. Like, you know what I'm saying? Watching film and things like that to kind of learn, your craft.
Yes. So aside from football, and I know you said you played basketball, is there another sport that you're into?
It is.
Okay.
I'm into tennis. So
Nice.
I play tennis. And
Really now? Okay.
I'm that person who likes to learn. So
Right.
friend of mine, she plays tennis, and it's a while back. We were somewhere and we were just talking about both our sports. I was talking about training for football, and she was telling me training for tennis. I was like, well, tennis can't be that hard. You just
Well,
want to hit the ball. Oh, I was wrong. Oh, trust me, I was wrong. I was like, tennis can't be that hard. Just run and hit the ball. Oh,
you
tennis
have
is
to
way
be
harder than
serious
that. It's
about
like
that
run,
one.
hit the ball, stop, have a certain amount of distance, hit two times, and all
Exactly.
that. So it's a
Mhm.
lot of technical things in tennis, footwork,
Absolutely.
racket, head speed, all type of things that I've learned now
Exactly.
over the years because I take lessons and I play.
Nice.
And I'm like into it. I've even been to Wimbledon. I've been to the U.S. Open. Like, I've traveled
That's on
now
my bucket list
to
at
follow
some
it.
point.
Yeah, so like I'm really like into it, and I watch it too, to watch just like how people play, to see if I
Mhm.
pick up anything from it too. So tennis it's something that kind of helps me because with cardio and just things that still stay active.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So it helps out a lot. So I'm really big into tennis now and
Awesome.
still
So
able to be competitive.
right. So prior to this interview, I had no idea you were this kind of businessman. I had no idea that, what do we talk about? Basically what I'm trying to get at is what is something else, when we talked about the record label, but what is something else about you that might surprise people, something that people probably would look at you and be like, really?
We take dance class, so they look on my we take
Really?
dance class. So if you look on my page, I just posted one probably like a couple of days ago because
Okay.
we just finally started doing dance again.
Huh?
And that's just me just getting out of my comfort zone. When was I ever doing no dance routines? It was just something different. A friend that I have is a choreographer, and he takes tennis lessons as well with us.
Okay.
So like 4 of us, like 3 or 4 of us that take the lesson together. So tennis is a form of a workout for us too.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, I think my tennis instructor was like, "Oh, we should all do a dance class." And I was like, yeah. I said, we should just do one for like a workout type of thing.
Right.
And he was like, all right. So we did it and he filmed it. And then like I posted it and the people were like, oh, shoot, y'all dancing.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I ain't that bad. Well, immediately, because I'm the tallest and the biggest person in there, I was like, I got to keep up with these people because just me being competitive. Like, they ain't even want to outshine me. So, I was already went there with the mindset, like, I ain't even gonna say that, I'm just coming here and do my thing. And I actually was doing like really good. So every time people see it, they were like, yeah, he be killing it. So people probably wouldn't expect me to be so nimble, I guess, on my feet. But again, you should, because at the position I played, I had to be. But
yeah,
I guess correlating it over to the dance floor is like, So
I can see that correlation even between that and tennis, the movement and all that. I can definitely see the correlation with all that.
But I'm like 6'8". I'm like a big individual. So it's like probably like different actually when you actually see this person moving around.
Right.
Because I don't walk like I'm like agile either. I only do it when it's come time for sports. Like when it's sports things or dancing, then I turn back into an athlete. Other than that, I'm just like lumbering around. Right. May not look that athletic, just walking.
Well, I have to tell you, this conversation has been quite refreshing. And one thing I'm definitely taking from this, which is something that you hear, but I see you actually doing and seeing how it's resulting for you, but being a lifelong learner, not being afraid to try new things,
Well, if you got to look at it too, I'm also like into the word a lot. So in the Bible, it also says you should learn something every day. The minute you're here, and you are no longer have the interest to learn anything, to get better at anything, you're just existing, and now you're not really living anymore. You know what I mean? So you always want to be able to pick up and learn something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And knowledge, like that's one thing nobody can ever take away from you. So if you're ever in a situation and you have the knowledge to fix something, help somebody, you're able to share that. You know what I mean? So, and what's crazy with me is, like for instance, me playing football, when I would have an ankle injury or any type of injury, when I'm getting treatment, I'm asking a million questions. What is this? What does it do? Because I want to know how it affects my body. What's going on? Like, I'm learning about my body because guess what? I had other people have injuries and do things, and I tell them like, oh, if you do this, that, and the other, that'll bring this down, that'll do that. And it's like, I'm not a doctor, but I've had these experiences, so I've learned from my own case. So that having that knowledge, it helps them sometimes.
That's awesome. So we talked about your Instagram, but I would like for you to tell people, because it sounds like you are a man on a million missions. So what is the way that people can keep up with you in terms of your different business websites, your organization that you spoke about earlier? Media following?
Definitely, they would be able to see everything on my Instagram.
Okay.
Which is Bryant McKinnie. But I do have Twitter, I do have LinkedIn, I do have Facebook.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna look you up on all of them. Okay.
But yeah, Instagram will probably show more of the visuals, everything. Like even when I do charity events, you'll see pictures, you'll see a highlight video, things like that. All will be back onto my Instagram, and then I do have people who run some of the. I have like my Big Major Foundation, so pictures that go up on there. That's its own separate Instagram. My website should be almost, I was getting a revamp, so that should be done any day now. I'm just waiting for him to just let me know like when he's going ready to set it live or whatever. And then also do a podcast with my friend Mika Claxton. She used to be married to Speedy Claxton, former NBA player. And she had did an episode. She had did a season of not Loving Hip Hop, Basketball Wives before. So she's my co-host on the podcast, and that came about from friends. See, one thing about me is I build relationships, but I know how to keep them. So a friend of mine, she was one of the executive producers on a show called The Best Damn Sports Show, period, early 2000s. And she's now over at Uninterrupted, which is LeBron's network.
Yeah.
And she reached out to me sometime last year and was like, hey, we have a podcast in Cleveland. We have one in New York. We want to bring one in Miami. And I already told them I found a perfect person, which was me. So she was like, but Miami's can be not just sports. We want it to be like lifestyle. We want it to be, about the culture. We want it to be other things. You don't have to talk about just sports. Right. So I got Mika as my co-host because I'm sure people want to hear things from a female's perspective at times too. And I just have guys all the time sitting around talking. And then the fact that when it comes to sports, her husband was a former NBA player. She was a wife, so she traveled and she kind of give you the insight on that as well. Right. So that's, for me, made sense. And we have chemistry, and she has a good personality, so that's how we put that together. So we do that. Right now, we've been going live. Like, we have an in-studio setting, but we weren't doing that because we had a live audience, and with all the COVID stuff, we kind of stayed away from that.
Yeah.
But so, like, for now, on Fridays at 9 p.m., we go live on my page as well as hers. It connects not hers, the podcast page, Mac and Mika Live podcast page, and I'll go live with her, and we'll talk, that way.
Nice. Okay. So, well, before we get out of here, I like to kind of ask this question just because it's the times that we're living in. But of course, we're in unique times with everything currently going on with social injustice and everything that's been going on with the pandemic. What advice would you give to people to hang on to make it through the difficult times?
People always have to realize that nobody's life is just going to be a smooth sail. You know what I'm saying? Even the weather here, you have sunny days, you have rainy days. But the rainy days, once you get through them, helps things grow. So you have to take those experiences as a learning experience, and hopefully something in you grows. And when you come out from the other side of that storm, it's sunny again, but you should be a little stronger and have a little bit more knowledge on how to handle some things. So going through a storm is never bad. It's tough. You can, your faith may waver a little bit, but you got to understand when that storm is over, a lot of things will grow around you too.
Yes.
Things need to be watered.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. McKinnie, I want to thank you for your time. This has been an awesome and very motivating conversation, I must say.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the great things that you're doing in the future. And perhaps as you have other things happening, we can come and talk to you again so you can keep everybody abreast of those things. Awesome. Well, I will be. Did you say Friday nights for the podcast?
Friday at 9 a.m. Yeah,
Friday at 9 p.m. I'll be tuned in this week then.
Okay.
All right. You take care. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.